Hey guys, welcome to Kluge Tech Time, and it is late at night, but DJI has released a brand new feature for the Mavic 2 platform in a new version of DJI Go 4. What did they introduce? They introduced something right in here, that one right there, Waypoints 2.0, which is different than the Waypoints that came with the original Mavic Pro. This is Waypoints 2.0, where you don't actually have to fly to the places to set your points. You can actually set them on a map here. So I'm just going to go play around here, show you guys a little bit about this. It is midnight right now, so I am not going to be able to fly this, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fly this in the morning, but I will try to get a video out for you guys demonstrating flying with the Waypoints here. But for tonight, let's go ahead and just show you how you can set up your Waypoints 2.0. Now, it's a lot like you do with the hyperlapse waypoints. You set in points of interest, you set in waypoints for where you want to go, but with this has a lot more flexibility to add a lot of waypoints to it. Alright, so what do we have here? This is our little waypoints bar here that allows us to control what we're adding to the screen. If we click this, we can see all the different options here. We can see that this icon means waypoint. This one is mark a point of interest. This one, we save our waypoints, we can delete them, we can add them to our task library, and we can set up some route settings. Now, the route settings are fairly simple in terms of what you can do, and these are what affects kind of the overall arching route settings. So, polyline is basically, it's going to follow the exact lines of your waypoints. An arc is going to kind of set up a curve for the flight path. So those are really our two options. Now the options that we have here and what we set up is a lot like we have in the Litchi app. If you've paid the 20 or 30 some odd dollars for the Litchi app, a lot of what you're seeing here is fairly similar to that. So if you've played around with that, this is going to be super simple, but I like that they've added it in here. So for those of you guys that don't want to spend the 20 or 30 bucks for the Litchi app, you can just get it right here. All right, so let's start playing around a little bit. So we can set whether we want to arc. So when you're going from point to point, is it going to go in a straight line to that point and then to the next point, or is it going to kind of do a curve and kind of smooth out those different points of interest, or not points of interest, the different points that you're flying to, the waypoints. After the task is finished, what do you want to do? Do you want to return to home? Do you want to hover, return to the first waypoint, or land? So it gives you different options there. No RC signal action. So if you have a flight plan that takes you beyond your remote controller's distance, make sure you're doing things legally, morally, and all that kind of stuff, safely. You can choose what you want to do. So if it loses the RC signal, do you want to continue the task, return to home, hover, or land? Make sure and choose wisely. You don't want to lose your aircraft. And then all waypoints directions you can set up. Do you want it to go free, custom route, or route? So heading can't be set for a single waypoint in this mode. And then cruising, you can determine how fast you want it to go. And I need to change my settings in here from let's go change our settings from measurement unit. I want them imperial. Let's go back here, route settings. All right, so we got miles per hour now. That's more like it for me. Sorry for you guys outside of the US. All right, so how fast do you want to go? And right now I can set it from anywhere from 4.47 miles per hour all the way up to 17.9 is what this is showing right now. Now, one of the things that is interesting is that you actually have to connect to your aircraft to get this option here to be able to set it up. However, right now my aircraft itself is turned off, so I'm not wasting a battery while I'm demonstrating this stuff for you guys, but I'm able to set up these waypoints in here. Alright, so let's set up some waypoints. So I accidentally actually already set up a waypoint here. That was kind of an accident. Let's just go ahead and say okay. If I want to hit another one, you can see wherever I tap, it sets different waypoints. I can grab that one and I can move it around to a different spot. Things like that. If I click one, now now that one's selected, and I can see that it's set to fly at 62 feet. Now again, keep in mind that that is the height above your takeoff point. That's not relative to the ground. So if you're on a sloping environment, you need to be careful, right? Now, once I select this, now if I just slide up or down on the screen, you can see that the height will change on there. Okay, that you can set for that. And then you can go to the next one, and if you want it at a different height, you can adjust that. And I think probably because I got it turned off, it's limiting to me what I can do. All right, so I'll say okay. Now, the other thing you can do is you can add points of interest. So as it's flying, maybe you want it to always be looking in this direction for some reason. So as you fly around, you want it to always be looking at this particular point. Now, again, with this one, you can actually set the height of it. So do you want it looking at the ground level, or do you want it looking up a little higher, right? Do you want it up higher, or do you want it looking at the ground? So you have control over where it's actually going to be looking. So we'll say okay on that. So when I click on one of these waypoints, I've got different settings down here at the bottom that I can choose. So what's my altitude, my cruising speed, so I can adjust how fast it's going to go at that waypoint. I can do, okay, do I want it to follow a route, or do I want it to follow or look at a custom direction? Where do I want it to pitch the gimbal to on that? So we can slide that up and down. And then what do we want to do on our camera action? And you'll see that flight path is set as arc, cannot set a camera action. Now, if we go back into our settings here, route settings, if I change this back to polyline, then I can do different things at different waypoints. You might want to have it go to this waypoint, and camera action, I want it to start recording at that one, and then I want to go to this one, and I want it to stop recording, and then I want it to go over here to this one, and I want it to take a photo, and this one, again, I want to take another photo. And we want the gimbal pitch looking down a little bit. We want custom direction, so you can see I can adjust the direction that it's pointing to right there. Or I could choose a point of interest, and I can say, okay, point there. I can go to this one, say point of interest. I want it to point at 1, and you'll see that the arrow right here is the direction that the aircraft will be pointed. So right here, this number 3 isn't set at a point of interest right now, and it's pointing down here to 4. But if I go to, which is just the next waypoint, but if I go back to this one and I want the point of interest, see right now it's pointing over here, but I want it to point at the point of interest, so I can say point of interest point at 1 right there. Now let's go look at click on the point of interest. Now link waypoints, and so I could say, I could make it so that I want all of the waypoints to be pointed at me. So by clicking on the actual point of interest, I can tell it what ones I want to point at, and I can tell it, okay, how high do I want it to go, how high do I want it to be, so on and so forth. So again, it's pretty simple what is here, but it's, you know, it's waypoints. It allows you to be able to set up an automated flight routine, allows you to do, you know, actually quite a bit with being able to set up, okay, am I going to be flying straight? Am I going to be flying in curves? So I'm going to change this to arc, and that'll change the curves. And it doesn't actually show that, which is kind of interesting. If you use Litchi and you change the flight path to curves, so what it'll do is it'll show on these lines, instead of a straight line from here to here, it'll show like a little arc right here, and it'll ask you how much of an arc do you want on that, and you can adjust that. This doesn't really seem to give you that option. So that's interesting to see, you know, what all's here. I can set the speed, like I said before. I can choose different actions depending upon what's going on. I can save this task. I can go to the task library here, and this is my task right here. So this would be available to me later. I could, so if I say, okay, I'm done with that one, so it's gone away, and then I come back and I say, okay, waypoints, task recovery, sure, there you go. So it automatically just loaded those back up. So I could come back to the task library and say, yeah, I want to load that one again. So there's my task library. If I wanted to, if I say save, it's just going to automatically save at the top of that. But let's see, there's a save as. Oh, save as. Oh, it didn't let me actually choose a name there, so that's interesting. So let's go back to the task library, and you can actually see that I've got different ones here. So now it's letting me, I can go in and I can edit that. That's kind of awkward how that's, yeah, that's kind of awkward how that's bringing up the keyboard and not letting me see what's actually there. So that's kind of buggy there. But anyways, so that is the waypoints. Then when you're ready to go actually fly this, I think you would just hit go. I don't have my aircraft turned on right now because I'm just in my basement. I don't want to accidentally try and go fly this flight plan. That would not be a good thing. But this is fantastic news. You don't have to spend any additional money to now get waypoints, and this is going to open up a lot of additional possibilities. So looking forward to it. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope this was useful for you guys. What do you guys think of waypoints? What do you guys think of this implementation? Is it something that you're going to use? I hope you guys have a great day, great night, great afternoon, whatever it is in your part of the world. And I hope to see you on another video very, very soon. Take it easy. Ciao.